And we're glad to have your company tonight, coming to you straight from the heart of Africa, Kigali. My name is Martina Abera. Now, the Chamber of Deputies approved the relevance of the budget, a law that Rwanda will use for the 2026-2027 fiscal year. Out of the total budget of 7.796 trillion Rwandan francs, the economic transformation pillar has been allocated 62%. Before presenting the amount Rwanda plans to spend under the 2026-2027 budget, the Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, Yusuf Murangwa, first outlined the progress made in implementing the 2025-2026 budget. The Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, Yusuf Murangwa, stated that Rwanda is aligning its planning with current global developments, which continue to have significant impacts, particularly on economies. Some members of the parliament commended this approach as well as the rest. Speaking to journalists, the Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, Yusuf Murangwa, said that the progress the country has achieved during the second year of the second phase of the National Strategy for Transformation provides confidence that the program's targets will be achieved at a satisfactory level.
Budget preparation is not a big task. Because there is already a framework that is well agreed. The issue across the continent has been execution of the budget. So I was very impressed that the Rwandan budget, when it is agreed, approved by the parliament, approved by the cabinet, almost 90% of agreed targets are achieved. So it has a very robust monitoring and evaluation framework. That's why I'm saying that I'm impressed by the components that are very highlighted, well highlighted or well articulated within the budget, and also the level of execution. When you look at the current budget and the previous budget, there has been an increment of 12%. That is very realistic, other than maybe putting 30% when you cannot achieve it. So execution is very critical within the budget framework. Other countries have failed because of execution, but Rwanda is really at the forefront in terms of execution. 90% of the agreed targets are always achieved. Almost 70% of our budget is domestically financed, meaning our taxes are channeled in the right projects, in the right infrastructure, in the right activities, in the right services. So we appreciate. So self-reliant means that we need to fund almost 90% of our budget. We should not rely upon the donors or other well-wishers for our survival, for our development. So, kwigira, dignity of Rwandans will be achieved by financing our budget to the tune of 90% through our domestic tax.
When you look at the budget, maybe it's not possible at this point to go item by item where we've allocated more. But when you go to the budget speech, but also you'll see from the budget that we'll make public. First of all, the stage that we've got to in terms of development, we think continued economic development is extremely important. And because of that, we gave the economic cluster 62.9% of the budget. We also allocated the social sector, which we also think is quite important, 21.9% of the budget. And then the governance cluster, 15.2%. So that allocation is very deliberate because we believe that further progress in terms of development will be anchored very strongly to how successful we are in terms of our economy. It's quite resilient because we are on the conservative side. We always plan from conservative scenarios so that if anything changes, it changes from the positive side instead of things changing on the negative side. But you never know if worst case scenarios happen, vis-a-vis especially the war in the Middle East, and maybe oil prices continue to be a problem, both oil prices but also access. We are trying everything possible to make sure that we don't have shortages in terms of oil products in the country, with alternative markets and sourcing. So worst case scenario, I've just explained that in English. Worst case scenario, we've seen it before, for example, during COVID-19. So if worst case scenarios happen, maybe we might have like a small or a short-term setback. Then we put in place measures to catch up down the road. But given that this is a conservative scenario, we are hoping that it should be resilient enough to navigate this, and we hope maybe we might even surpass what we are planning.
The 2026-2027 budget also includes activities aimed at increasing agricultural and livestock productivity. These include the timely provision of agricultural inputs, seed multiplication, addressing climate change through irrigation, improving animal health and artificial insemination services, expanding storage capacity for cereals and legumes, rehabilitating and increasing the area under coffee and tea cultivation, among other initiatives. To mark 2 decades of agricultural development in Africa, AGRA is convening 2 experts and decision makers in Kigali to map out the future of Eastern and Southern Africa's food security. The high-level roundtable focused on how developing resilient, inclusive seed systems can serve as the ultimate catalyst to transform the regional agri-food landscape against mounting climate challenges.
The Rwanda was importing the majority of seeds grown in this country. By 2020, the government took the decision to invest in local seed production. And that is when our seed companies have started that journey to be able to be involved in seed production from basic seeds up to certified seeds. The achievement now, we have had some local company like Kilimo General Business Limited, which has its own varieties, and those varieties are very, very performant and very well appreciated by local farmers.
Started as we don't have a seed in a country. We do not have seed multipliers. They get seed from outside the country, but now we have seed multipliers. As our company, we multiply seed, maize seed, hybrid maize seed, and beans and soybean. So per now, we are multiplying seed in a good quality, because we get basic seed from RAB. RAB is a breeder, and then we multiply them. And RICA is a supervisor. They come and inspect us, and we have a quality seeds.
Moving ahead, leaders from various institutions involved in advancing technology in education, together with partners including investors in educational technology, have stated that developing innovative solutions to challenges in education as well as technology is one of the key ways to improve the quality of education in Rwanda. They made these remarks during the official launch of the MasterCard Foundation EdTech Fellowship Program, an educational technology mentorship and support initiative launched by the Minister of State in the Ministry of Education, Claudette Irere. The program aims to strengthen the capacity of 8 companies already working to expand the use of technology in schools, enabling them to scale up their operations and develop more innovative technological solutions.
Right now I'm using a computer, but then also I have a keyboard here and a mouse. So this is to help me navigate and use the computer really well. That's why we also have external keyboards and computer and mouses here to add. I'm using it to write codes. It's part of our classes that we study to write codes, generate websites, or even make apps. So we use codes that are available here that you write, but then also you can run and be able to see the website you have created and how it looks like. When I'm not in this classroom, I use a tablet, because that's when I'm in front of the teacher. He's projecting notes probably, so I'll use a tablet that has the notes is projecting, and if I need extra research in my prep time when the teacher is not around. I still have internet on this tablet, then I can search what I'm looking for, whether on Google or any other platform that I'm looking for the information, and then I understand more about it. But then he can also share videos about the studies here on the tablet, then I can also see it.
Teachers project for us studies and contents. This helps us to learn more things and research. We also have tablets where every student in this school has a tablet or a Chromebook. This helps us in research and also has helped us in promoting our academic performances, hence also promoting our IT devices, knowledge of IT devices.
As a student, it helps me to do furthermore research or to get to know more explanation about the concepts in class. And to add on, it also helps me to earn other skills, like maybe programming and also learning maybe other different skills online.
The CEO of Rwanda ICT Chamber, Alex Ntare, stated that the program will play an important role in helping entrepreneurs interested in investing in education technology develop projects that provide practical solutions, as well as challenges facing the education sector.
The fellowship is a 18 months program that will that comprises of a 6-month intensive acceleration period where the edtech companies that have been selected will be working with our partners, Carnegie Mellon University Africa, that will focus on the science of learning, improving their products, the quality of their products, by ensuring that the products that they're building are grounded in the science of learning and are actually benefiting and improving learning outcomes for learners in the schools and in the jurisdictions they will be working in. So part of this is not just the acceleration, there's also a broader agenda of working with the ecosystem, building an edtech, a vibrant edtech ecosystem which collaborates, and that's why we're working with the Ministry of Education, identifying challenges that national challenges or government challenges that are the education sector faces that can be solved with education, but also linking and supporting the edtech entrepreneurs to be able to align their programs and their solutions with national agendas, but at the same time also making sure that they are scalable, the solutions that can work in Rwanda and outside Rwanda in different settings, both urban settings, but as well as rural settings, because majority of Rwandans are in rural areas.
The program, launched by the MasterCard Foundation and the Rwanda ICT Chamber in partnership with the Ministry of Education, plans that during its first 6 months, the participating companies will work closely with various stakeholders involved in the use of technology in education.
As Rwanda continues to transform its education sector, technology is central. It remains an important enabler of access, quality, and equity. And by supporting locally driven edtech solutions, this fellowship brings Rwandan edtech innovators and entrepreneurs closer to policy, and most importantly, closer to developing practical responses to challenges within the system. Equally important is the emphasis on context-relevant edtech innovations. Sustainable progress in education requires innovations that are responsive to our own realities and grounded in evidence and designed around the needs of the classrooms, that is for students and teachers, the needs of the schools, and at the national system level transformation. This is why partnerships that bring together government, innovators, educators, and development partners, and the private sector are essential. And as this first cohort begins its journey, there is hope that the fellowship will contribute not only to our overall goal of improving learning outcomes, but also to the growth of a vibrant edtech ecosystem that supports entrepreneurship, job creation, and Rwanda's broader digital transformation agenda. This is exciting to watch unfold. And our hope is that what works here could as well work somewhere else. And that the fellowship allows the fellows, the lucky fellows, to spread their wings outside Rwanda. The Ministry of Education remains committed to supporting this initiative. Whether there is need to dive deep into policy direction or simply bouncing off ideas around certain thematics that are of importance to the sector, we will be glad to support in any way possible. Continued engagement will be critical in ensuring that promising solutions are able to grow, reach more students, and contribute to national development goals. Allow me once again to thank everyone's involvement in making this initiative possible. Best wishes to the inaugural cohort as they embark on this important journey.
The goal is to improve their operations and support them in developing projects that will benefit a large number of students, particularly those living in rural areas. Moving ahead, the Somali National University and the University of Rwanda have signed a cooperation agreement covering research activities, curriculum development and improvement, the prevention of genocide and crimes against humanity, peace education and conflict resolution, as well as the exchange of lecturers and researchers. The agreement was signed by the Vice Chancellor of the Somali National University, Dr. Fouad Mir Hassan, and the Deputy Vice Chancellor of the University of Rwanda in charge of planning and administration, Dr. Raymond Ndikumana. Mohamud Haji, who led the Somali delegation, has noted that Rwanda serves as a valuable example for Somalia because both countries have experienced major challenges in their histories.
Choosing Rwanda is on the basis of an African solidarity between one African country to another African country. And as you may know, Somalia is also one of the countries of the East Africa Community members. So choosing Rwanda was actually a wise decision, not just based on an ad hoc discussion, but based on a comprehensive and extensive research on the need on areas of interest where Somalia can learn from Rwanda. One of the areas which we really attracted us was how Rwanda was successfully integrated its peace education into the education system. So looking at Somalia that is in a process of state building and peace building processes in the country, we recognize that education is one of the key tools in transforming societies. So strengthening the peace infrastructures of the country, we had to go with doing a benchmarking visit to Rwanda in 2025, June, to see how Rwanda successfully implemented that peace education into the education system. So I would like to appreciate here the Rwanda cooperation. Actually, we couldn't achieve our goals here in Rwanda without the Rwanda cooperation. They played a very key role in really facilitating, coordinating, and supporting us in engaging the key institutions that have involved in the processes and the systems of peace education in this country. And we're hopeful that we will continue that partnership with the key institutions of Rwanda, particularly Rwanda Cooperation. So on behalf of the delegated authority of the Somali delegation here in Kigali, today was a historic day for us in spearheading the a landmark MOU signature between the Somali National University and also the University of Rwanda, which Somali National University is one of the key stakeholders in actually supporting and facilitating the rollout and the implementation of the Somalian peace education curriculum. So partnering with Rwanda, University of Rwanda is more academic, but at the same time more institutional and technical aspect, as University of Rwanda played a key role in the peace education systems and processes in Rwanda.
More than 5,000 young leaders, innovators, policymakers, and development partners from across the world are expected in Kigali this November for the 8th Youth Connect Africa Summit. As preparations gather pace, partners have pledged stronger support for the Rwandan-born initiative, whose 2026 edition will focus on inspiring young people to become drivers of economic transformation in their communities. William Evans Mutabazi reports.
What began as a Rwandan initiative to connect young people to opportunities has evolved into one of Africa's largest youth empowerment platforms. At a partners working dinner held in Kigali, ahead of the 8th Youth Connect Africa Summit, organizers unveiled the dates and theme for this year's gathering, with a special focus on building a generation that creates solutions rather than waiting for others to solve the problems.
The Youth Connect Africa Summit is coming to Rwanda in November, so today we wanted to show to our usual partners the dates and also the theme of the year. The theme of the year is shaping the generational mission. So in November, we are bringing together around 5,000 young people. We will sit in the same place in Kigali to discuss how we can, do self-sufficiency in the agri-food system, self-sufficiency in the cultural industries, self-sufficiency in entrepreneurial skills. We want young people to be at the center of transformation. We want them to be accountable for the future generations, but mainly we want to make sure we don't blame anybody for our current and the future situations.
Organizers note that platforms such as Youth Connect are helping equip young people with the tools needed to transform ideas into visible businesses and community solutions, thereby calling on partners to make bold decisions that support young people achieve their dreams.
I feel deeply privileged to lead Youth Connect Africa because it's an organization that stands entirely in a league of its own. It's a very unique organization for three reasons. First, it's the only Rwandan homegrown solution, which it is, that expanded into 39 countries and counting. Youth Connect Africa is the only platform till today that provides a young man, a young woman from a rural area with the opportunity to directly engage with the Prime Minister of the country. We want partners. We hope to work with partners who understand that, of course, unusual times call for boldness. And that's exactly what the upcoming summit in Kigali is about. And we truly look forward to working with all of you to meet this moment. Thank you very much.
As preparations continue, organizers hope the summit will not only showcase youth-led innovations, but also strengthen partnerships that can unlock opportunities for young Africans. William Evans, RwandaTV News.
Despite Rwanda's legal framework requiring equal pay for equal work, women continue to earn less than men on average. Experts say the gap is not driven by differences in salary scales, but by unequal access to high-paying jobs, leadership positions, and economic opportunities. Deputy Chief Gender Monitor in charge of gender mainstreaming, Florien Rihose, explains.
Traditionally, the gender wage gap is briefly defined as where a situation where men and women are not being paid the same salary for the work of equal value. That's the traditional, the main definition of a wage gap. So we don't have that in our country because that's discrimination, if you heard of it. Our laws have eliminated the wage gap in terms of discrimination in the law and policy framework. The Constitution guarantees that women and men will receive the same pay for the work of equal value, and other laws, the labor laws and the national public service salary policy has eliminated that. So we don't have that in our country in terms of policy and structural, gaps. But when you go deeper, we may find wage gaps in terms of economic opportunities and where women and men sit or what they earn. This is what we mainly have in our country. The priority to me would to continue investing in education, skills development, and ICT, digital literacy, because is where the world is heading, and much of the economic work is becoming digital. So we have to invest in that. Also, research shows that women still have issues in the same opportunities as men in those areas, skills development, digital literacy, and others. So we have to keep investing in education, eliminating all the barriers that limit women, girls and women from attaining their educational aspirations. That is very important. Second is addressing what we call social norms. Social norms, what do I mean? I mean that the socially constructed beliefs that women are better suited for social responsibilities other than economic and technical responsibilities. We also have to invest in activities that reduce the burden on unpaid care work, investing in child facilities. And finally, I think another area to address is to invest in activities that address GBV, and particularly sexual harassment and exploitation at workplace, because those are also some of the challenges that would limit women from enjoying their full right in the workplace.
On that note, we've come to the end of tonight's bulletin. Thank you for sticking with us on RTV News. My name is Martina Abera, and until next time, stay safe and have a good night.